Good morning, Pulse again. How are we doing? Freaking happy Friday. I am. Hey, guys, what's going on? Do you like the Pulse X glasses? Man, I am feeling good. This is my last day in Arizona. This is the last day of the HETS conference last night. It was an absolute blast. We had Mr. Sami, the man, come on and join us for the HEX conference. We had a good time for you guys out there who were boycotting. I don't know why you'd boycott on an asset that you love, but it was good, man. And this is the DeFi Crypto Alliance show where we're doing our best to bridge the gap between our fellow entrepreneurs, real estate investors, and our fellow community in the crypto space. Bridge that gap because we're using cryptocurrency as a wealth creation tool and using real estate and other real world assets as a wealth preservation tool. And we're going to lock in those gains by not paying three-letter agencies, aka IRS, the taxes we make on our crypto by using the DeFi Wealth Trust. So if you guys are interested in that, you can always DM me on Twitter. And I can point you over to Chris, who's the tax strategist, and he can set all those things up with you. I cannot do that. I am not a tax strategist. I'm not a financial advisor. I only speculate on my money. Got my daughter right here next to me. I only speculate on my money, and what I do with it is never financial advice. Like Sami says, you can go buy stocks and bonds for all I care. Actually, I will financially advise. Go buy real estate. If you really want financial advice, go buy some freaking real estate, put a tenant in place, and get that little dribble of $200-$300 a month. That's a way that you can, create wealth preservation, but sure the hell you can't create wealth from it. It's very difficult. You can do it, but it's a grind. So today is the open mic show. It is your show to come in and shine. It's your time to come up and talk about whatever you want. Whether it be crypto, whether it be real estate, whether it be health. Just got back from the gym, feeling good, feeling pumped. I kept my health habits intact the entirety of my 1 month holiday here in Arizona. I was a little worried if I'm going to be able to do that, and I did. That was great. Got my last gym in today. We leave tomorrow back to the island, and we're back in the hopper like normal. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm ready to get back to work. So let me post the link. First, before I do that, though, I do want to show the secret chart, and I want to show you what I think is going on. Of course, I can be wrong. I'm just a dude on the internet who speculates on his own money. Man, we are trending back up out of that capitulation zone on the secret chart. This is Pulse measured against ETH. And this is all we really care about. We want to measure these things against blue chips. You can measure it against Bitcoin too if you really wanted to go on, super hard mode. ETH's pretty easy because you can grab the liquidity pairing from Uniswap and see where you're at. And let's go ahead and put it on the candlestick. I keep it on the weekly because we want to be able to zoom out, take a step back, and know we're in the right place at the right time. And if I put on the candlesticks, look at the freaking weekly green candle. Can we hold this? Today's Friday. We got a couple more days for closing. My question is this candle Aunty Carol's Christmas cookies, people knowing about it and front running us? Because every time there is macro news and good news in any market, there's always some big whale, or there's always somebody close to the money or close to the information that knows about the information before it becomes public, and they front run. I'm wondering if this is Aunty Carol's Christmas cookies candle, creating a reversal. We will see. I do not give any financial advice, but I feel like any day now we are due for that decision. We are due for those Christmas cookies. They're late because Christmas and New Year's was here, and she took her time to make sure they were perfect. That way, if an appeal happens, it can't be overturned. There's always a chance of it, but remember, her reputation's on the line. She does not want to look bad. And that's what I think is going on. But it's very interesting that we're getting a nice little green candle on the weekly. I would like to see this green candle close and create some good market structure and start to go back up. This was a massive M. Now that you look back in hindsight, when we were here, I didn't know it was an M, but hey, obviously it turned to an M when it was about right here. But you're not going to jeet your bags for 2 fucking red candles. I mean, that's just not what you're going to do. So we are locked and loaded in for this bull run, guys. And we are 10 days from inauguration. Not only are we going to get the Christmas cookies, we're going to get a new president and a new SEC chairman. Guys, I don't understand how you're not effing bullish. Not you guys here in my chat are. You guys have the mental fortitude to make it through this, the blood. You have the long-term vision, the mindset. But like everyone else, man, I don't get it, man. This is like insane to me where we are at in the cycle. And we are about to go freaking moon time. And we're getting the Aunty Carol's Christmas cookie candle on the weekly. And people aren't talking about it. 63 of you guys watching. Come on, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Please retweet it on Twitter for me. Help the algorithm. We want to get out in front of as many people as possible. The loudest megaphone in Pulse Change, screaming about our bags, pumping us to the moon. And let me go ahead and drop that link. If you guys want to come on and chat about anything and everything, I'm more open. This is your guys' show. This is the Friday Open Mic show. I'll go ahead and post that in for you guys. And we'll go ahead and visit the chat because I see one of my good friends, the Ink Maxi, calling me the futster. I say I am the truth teller. That's all. But it's okay. I still love you, Brizology. Sorry I didn't make it up the Big Bear when I was out here. You guys got no effing snow, man. Nobody got no snow out here on the West Coast but Colorado. And I wanted to get some skiing in. I was going to go to Big Bear and hopefully visit Briz, but he's got no freaking snow, man. I'm like, damn. So I didn't go any skiing this time around, which sucks. It's one of my touching grass things that I love to do. But yeah, man, I'm the truth teller, bro. You're the futster. How about that? I love you. Pants on or off, bro. True story, St. Wolf. Last night, Pets conference, pants off. This morning, pants on. I got back from the gym. I'm all ready to go. I'm ready for my day. This is the morning time. Last night was like before bedtime. I was in my freaking boxers. I had my Pulse Chain shirt on. That was it. And St. Wolf's always invited on, man. I love St. Wolf. I love his content. He got some amazing TA over there, and he's over there blowing some shit up. We love his content, man. Oi, oi, Red Squirrel, my man. Should be free in about 30 minutes. Cool, man. We're still rocking and rolling. Feel free to hop on. The myth, the man, the legend, Crystal 7. How you doing, bro? Hats off to you always. Watch your segment over on the HES conference. Loved absolutely every minute of it, man. I smell the cookies. Dude, I do too, man. Can you smell it? Ah, it's coming, bro. It's here. Freaking telling you. You guys are going to look back a week from now and go, damn, Corey was right over there on the DeFi Crypto Alliance show. I can't believe it. I know you guys got fire, man. What the hell is going on? What's wrong with you people, man? And you're supposed to get some snow, and now you guys got fire. You guys are insane over there in California. My buddy's out in Hollywood, and he's on Facebook, and he's like, man, I'm looking out the window, and I can see the flames on Hollywood Hills. I'm like, bro, get the hell out of there. He's like, you can't. I'm like, what the fuck, man? That's insane. All right, well, let's bring to the stage Mr. Frank Conversations and Norbert. This is their show today. How are you guys doing today? I'm keeping the background up too, Frank, for one more day. And in celebration of that conference, I thought it was a complete success. I absolutely loved it. I loved your segment on I Watched You. I think on the first day, if I wasn't mistaken. And so, man, how are you doing, brother? What's the good word?
I'm doing great. I thought it was a complete success too. And, the one thing that the panel that I was on, we were supposed to talk about fun and, doing this is fun, right? But
it's fun.
and I for today's show, your show, I prepared like I got all kinds of stuff that I can share today. And one of the things that was really cool was I realized how sometimes I take cryptos too seriously. Like I'm too serious. I'm too much invested. And I don't take time to be funny, tell jokes and stuff like that. So I used our favorite ChatGPT to look up some jokes about the Pulse Chain Hex community. And so I just want to share some cool jokes right now about what's going on in the community. Unless you want to introduce Norbert first, and then we can go there. And I
got to introduce now also Norbert's here, and we got the myth, the man, the legend. Zenith is in the house, which is going to be awesome. I enjoyed you and Nuclear Herbs segment in the Hex Conference, man. Once again, bringing back some stability, some calmness, some truth telling, if you will, in the community, and putting all the fires out from the fudsters, just kind of bringing that level back down. And man, we appreciate that, man. You and Nuclear Herbs are awesome. I had Nuclear Herbs in my house for dinner on Saturday night, this last Saturday.
I saw that. It was like a blast.
It was, man. It's good to be in person with somebody who's got over 20 years of law practice telling me, like, bro, I'm not worried about shit. It's like, man, if you're not worried, I'm not worried.
No, we're good. But Frank and Corey, you guys are scaring me here. You make it sound like this is a serious stream. And I saw Corey on, and I was thinking to myself, all the dumb jokes I can make when come on, talking about how he's currently on vacation in the dunes of Arrakis over in the Arizona stand system.
That's right, man. Only for one more day, though. One more day, man. And then I got to get back to the Caribbean.
There we go. The tropical life.
Yeah, where all the mosquitoes live. That part's not the... They don't bite me, but they love to bite my 3-year-old. Like, it's so frustrating. And now what's that?
Even now in the wintertime? Is it wintertime there?
There's still mosquitoes, man.
Yeah.
Dude, the weather, the climate don't change that much. It adjusts maybe about 5-10 degrees, and it gets just a tad bit cooler at night, which is nice. But, like, it's the tropics, man. That's what it is out there. So
true. By the way, I think it's funny that Nuclear Herbs is your IRL friend. He's also my IRL friend too, because whenever I go to the Pulse Chain tour, I'm like, I'm gonna go hang out with Nuclear Herbs and his wife. I just love them.
Oh, they're great, man. They're great. Like, they're so grounded.
I met them at the first one I ever went to, and then ever since then, I just keep bumping into them every time. I'm like, all right, this is the deal. We're hanging out. You're stuck with me now.
Well, in your background with law too, how cool is that you have both of that in common?
Oh gosh, I don't know how much I can dox him. We have a good amount of history in common, despite him having a good chunk of age on me. So it's always fun. He's a veteran as well, so his veteran stuff lines up pretty well with mine. And my current job, actually. So we were before we even hopped on stream yesterday, we were kind of just like shooting the shit together, just talking. Like, we had a phone call and we're like, all right, what we talk about tonight? And we just started running through things, and then we like start going off on tangents. Like, okay, we gotta get back. And we kept going, just drifting farther away. It's like, all right, we have to actually put on a show. What are we talking about? It's like, okay, I think we're good.
Oh, it was fire, bro. You guys nailed it, man. I mean, I wish we'd have had... It's unfortunate we didn't have as many people watching this year as we did last year, because the content delivered there was so valuable that it helps people. It really does help people. And the fact that people were tuning in, man, they missed your guys' segment. They missed Frank's segment. They've missed Sami's segment. Sami came in on the last segment of my panel. We was 9 of us on there. And he popped on and stole the show, which we didn't mind. It's Sami, and man, it was just a great conference. Oh yeah, dude.
Well, and I think Richard Hart's tweet about conferences might have been taken out of context, because look, I met Zenith at the conference. You met at the last conference. You met Nuclear at this conference. You and I met at PulseCon. I haven't met Norbert in person yet, but
because he's over across the other side of the world, and he's always driving.
So I mean,
I can't afford a ticket yet.
We can't take that tweet to the extremes unless he wants to kind of give a little more clarity on what and break it down on what he really means. So I just took it like, I get a lot of value out of going to conferences. I'm going to continue.
Look,
you know,
if you're the guy who only has $300 expendable money, you know, or even $1,000 expendable money, you shouldn't be going to conference. You shouldn't be paying to go to conferences, right? Like the Matty Allen, and that's free. Like you can go tune in and it's great. But like if you're the guy who's living the paycheck to paycheck, who has barely any money to spend every month, yeah, you should put all your, not financial advice, of course, but if it was me, I'd be putting all that extra economic energy into the blockchain, right? Like you need to leverage that money to grow your wealth. But like if you're a guy who makes well more than, you know, it like say 50% of your money, 60% of your money is expendable, there's no reason why you can't go to conferences, right? There's no reason for that. So I mean, I've got a really nice bag. I'm comfortable with my bag. I'm going to go to conferences. In fact, we're sponsoring the Pulse 369 conference. We're the second biggest sponsor of the Pulse 369 conference for the DeFi Wealth Trust. We want to make sure we get this out to the community as much as possible. And so we're going to be there. We're going to be beating the drum and screaming through the megaphones, you know, and helping you guys not pay taxes because, you know, we need to have a plan as we're moving along through this, you know, bull run. And I get it. Like some of you guys don't want to take profits, or you want to stay on the blockchain and yield farm, which is fine, but you should take some profits. You know, you have a family, you're in this for a reason, for wealth creation. And that's where that trust really comes in. Unless you're like going to go spend it all on hooker and blow, then the trust is not for you. It's like,
well, if that's the case, then there's one of the conferences that might help assist you with that.
there are for sure.
I don't know. So, shoot, I did a New Year's Eve stream with RH Max over on his channel, and somebody in the comments asked us about that Richard Hart tweet came out that day. I hadn't seen it at that point, and they asked like, "Do you agree with Richard Hart about like conferences being scams or something?" And then, I just remembered back, like I didn't see that tweet, but I was remembering was like I read Sci-Vive and read 15 Ways to Fix the World, and then just watched a bunch of his streams and stuff. And I pretty much just said like, look, if you are going to a conference where you are A, enjoying yourself, but B, you also think that it's worthwhile and you don't think that you're getting scalped. I think what Richard Hart is specifically alluding to is also stuff that he talked about in his book, which is like, if you're going to a conference and it requires you to pay more than $1,000 for a ticket, odds are that's a scam. But on the other side of it, if it's below that, the odds are they're probably just trying to cover costs, so no one's just like paying for a giant thing out of pocket. So even then, there's the other price point which you talked about, which is that if it is free 99, yeah, that's not a scam. It's free. All it costs is your time.
And I know what it costs to run in-person events from the real estate space. It's not cheap, man. I have a buddy. He runs real estate events, and he ran in the red for 4 events. He would do them once a quarter. And it took a whole entire year of him running events before he even started getting any kind of profit whatsoever. I mean, anything, because he was just trying to build community, trying to build up, like my daughter screaming in the background, but trying to build up like I said, just a following community. So, you know, get more deals. Like he wanted more real estate deals brought to the table. And that part worked. But like he ran deep in the red. I remember his first one, he lost $70,000. And he was paying, you know, he was charging people to come to the conference, and he still lost 70 grand. I was like, holy crap. They're not cheap, man. They are not. So to cover costs, like RG3 is not getting rich by running this conference. I promise you he's not, because I have seen the inner workings and what it costs to run these things. I have never personally ran an in-person conference like that, and I won't, because I've seen it. Maybe I see how much work it is and how much money it is. I have no interest in doing it.
And that's the key word, what you just said there, that you put a lot of, sorry, Zenit, let me just say just one thing quickly. That 2 steps, in my opinion, what we talk about up to now is a 2 steps process. First of all, you put all your energy and effort and money into developing yourself to become a better human being, who has more money, who can provide a better service, who can help more on a higher level to any individuals. So that's the first step. You don't investing in crypto until you reach that point. When you reach that point, then you're gonna charge people a higher amount of fees, because you can you're extraordinary on the market, let's say, and then you can provide better service. When you make that money, Then you can build connections. You can go to conferences. You can invest it in crypto. It's nothing wrong with any of the things which happening on Earth, because two things can happen if you do any of the things. If you go on a scam conference or if you invest in a scam coin, is a learning lesson. You have to learn. You have to burn yourself. You have to experience these things. And if someone is willing to put in an effort, like Miguel Dollar Cost Crypto, and he's hosting a nice place somewhere, it requires a tremendous amount of organization, and then if he picks a nice place which provide you a good level of service, a comfortable place, then why not? If I can afford to do it, I'm sorry, I spend my money on whatever I wanted to, like no one should tell me that, oh, you shouldn't. So then what? I should always sit behind my screen and then click buttons with my mouse and then no human interactions. It's just so yeah, conferences are good. And what Matty is doing, a lot of people are telling him off like um, that. Oh, why are you organizing a conference? We have nothing to talk about. That's the best thing what we could do right now, because instead of hiding and licking our wounds that, oh, you sacrificed a lot of money, it still doesn't work. No, we are out there, and then we are like, oh yeah, by the way, it hasn't worked out the way how we planned it. But look around the world. Is anything working out the way how you were planning it? People in LA, a week ago they thought everything was fine, and now they don't have anywhere to live. Life can change in a jiffy so much. So why not, enjoy and experience things as long as we can? And also, what else? Boycotting a conference. I mean, yeah, I love David Feeder, but pointing fingers. Yeah, those guys are sharing links. I mean, yeah, okay, fine. Again, like, just because Steph made a bad decision back in the day and then his project didn't work out, at least he tried it. He put the time and effort into something to make a good product. It some reason didn't work out. So shall we just say that, okay, from now on you cannot ever touch crypto? It's same like, you do something bad in your life, so you can never work in your life again. No one's gonna hire you. It doesn't work like that. And again, if those guys, it's especially easier to to uh to get motivated, let's say, not manipulated, motivated. If Steph comes to influencer and say, hey guys, I'm trying to come up with something, of course those guys gonna share those things, because they say, what else I'm gonna talk about? That Hex moves 0.1% today, like you can't talk about that every single day, and then also we need extra products, because we can't just swap Hex for eHex for pHex and then I move it to Pools X. All these people saying, oh, I never touch anything else except Richard Hardcore coins. Okay, then what you're gonna do? You have 4 things to choose, and then you're just gonna swap one between the other. So then, what is the network effect? What is the outreach to other communities? So instead of pointing out and saying, oh, I'm boycotting a conference and I don't like these people because they share this and that, fine, okay, you don't like it, but it doesn't, what good you trying to get out of this? It's not gonna make a significant impact or significant difference that you do this. But instead of doing that negative activity, you could have supported something else, or like point out the positive things, or whatever. It's
And there were speakers on there who did not shield the Aunty affiliate link. Not everyone did that on the conference. And I mean, I shield the Aunty affiliate link. I'm the first one to admit my mistakes and wrongs. I always take responsibility of the mistakes I make. And so, like, hey, I got wrecked in Aunty. I lost 10 grand, man. I mean, it's just
that's a lot of money. But even if you did, like, at the end of the day, it's the people's decision. Like, look at the zombie virus vaccine. The government was saying to people, oh yeah, go and vaccinate yourself, and then people are like, oh, okay, I do it. No, it was your decision. I didn't do it. So, and I'm still here.
We're all responsible for every decision we make in our life. Everything that is in your life is your responsibility. The money you have in your bank account, the relationships you have with your loved ones, everything in your life is your fault. And so if I lose 10 grand on something, I don't point the finger at somebody else and say, oh, it's your fault I lost 10 grand. No. It's my fault I lost 10 grand. Now, when I make $1 million at something, it's also my fault that I make $1 million at something. So it works both ways.
Dang, you guys are getting affiliate codes? Must be nice.
I know. You know what? I didn't even get what they reached out to me for the Pulse 69 one, and I didn't even do it. Now I'm sponsoring. I'm like, I should have did the affiliate thing for that, but it's all right.
Not to toot our own horn, but over at DJ Roundtable, we may have sold the most tickets using our code. I'm just saying.
You guys did good, man. I saw the way you guys promoted it too. You guys had a very nice way of promoting it, and yep, we.
Oh, you
didn't
mean
do it
a golf video of me making fun of myself?
Yes, that was great.
Oh gosh, I'm actually. So if everything lines up, I should actually be out in Vegas next week for Dollar Cost Crypto and Charlie's crypto mindset meetup. And while I'm out there, I'm going to try to go to the golf course that we're doing the golf tournament at in March, and I'm going to try to shoot some content if they don't kick me out.
Oh, there you go, man. That'd be great. And that's gonna be cool to meet you in March, man. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. We haven't met in person yet.
Yeah, you have. You met.
I don't think have we.
It's
Last year,
the lobster bar, the all-you-can-eat fish thing.
It was very briefly. It was that last day.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dude, that whole trip was a whirlwind for me as well. Like, I am notoriously bad with names and faces and remembering them for more than like 5 minutes.
If I'm meeting a bunch of new people, it takes 2 or 3 times unless I hang out with you for the night. Like the first time I met Frank, we hung out all night. So it was like easy to like, okay, I know who Frank is now because I hung out with him all night. But like, unless I do that with you, it's gonna be hard for me to like put the pieces together. But next time around, like now we've hung out a lot, so it's easy.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna go grab a cup of coffee. Frank, feel free to share also what you wanted to share.
Okay, cool. So a couple things. Like I said earlier, I'm looking for to have more fun with crypto, and what better way to have fun with having some jokes about our community, right? So I got a few jokes here. So how do you know someone owns PLS, PLSX, and Hex? Don't worry, they'll tell you, and then explain staking for the next 45 minutes.
I thought you were going to say they were about to explain how they have bags and bags under their eyes.
Yeah. Why do stakers love jokes about other coins? Because they know the punchline won't mature for 15 years. Maybe I'm just having fun with this, but
I like that one.
What's the difference between a hexagon and a regular crypto investor? A hexagon has a longer attention span, stakes for life. Let me see if we can get 7. Why did the hexagon cross the road? To explain to the other side how Pulse Chain is faster and cheaper. All right, let me see what's some other ones here. What do you call a hexagon on vacation? A stationary tourist still locked in but enjoying the yield. Why did the hexagon buy a new chair? Because they've been sitting through Richard Hart's 8-hour live streams. You can put that down for a lot of YouTubers too. How do you know someone is into Pulse Chain? They'll spend 30 minutes explaining how Ethereum gas fees made them do it. Let me see if they can get one more out of this. I think that's about it. I pulled up about 20. So anyway, you got to laugh at yourself, myself included. I'm included in that,
Those are good ones.
No,
the first one was a good take on the classic. How do you, it's a bit of a veteran joke, but it's like, how do you know that somebody's a pilot? It's like, don't worry, they will tell you.
Yeah. I was listening to Coffee's stream this morning too, or something from yesterday, and he mentioned Mahatma Gandhi. And I know that your calls are, very spiritual in nature. And I was curious, and I said, well, he quoted Gandhi. I don't even remember the quote. I was like, what are Gandhi's top 10 quotes? So if you don't mind, I'm going to read them to you. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. So encouraging personal responsibility and creating a better world, which you just basically said, Corey, creating personal responsibility. An eye for an eye will leave the whole world blind. Powerful statement against revenge and the cycle of violence.
That's right there. That's exactly that in our community, in the toxicity and everything that happens on Twitter with us fighting with each other and fighting with other communities. That's exactly, even though it's not physical, it's virtual. It's still the same, man. It's still the same.
Yeah, we can talk about that more later too, because I have some other points about that and perspectives about that as well. It's the conference has really got me reflecting on a lot of different stuff. So his third best quote is, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others," highlighting the value of basically highlighting the value of selfless service. Number 4, live as if you were to die tomorrow, learn as if you were to live forever. Basically, that emphasizes the importance of living fully and constantly seeking knowledge, which we've all done at the conference, 5, you never know what results come of your actions, but if you do nothing, there will be no results. Encouraging proactive. Yeah. Basically encourages proactive efforts, even in uncertainty, like we are right now. Number 6, happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. Advocating integrity and alignment of thought, word, and deed. Number 7, strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. So stressing inner strength and resolve over physical power. Number 8, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong, which
it is.
Defining forgiveness as a strength, not a weakness. Number 9, freedom is not worth having if you do not include the freedom to make mistakes, which we just talked about. Mistakes, acknowledging the role of mistakes in growth and self-determination. Number 10, in a gentle way, you can shake the world, encouraging quiet, persistent effort to create meaningful change. So, yeah, it's a lot to contemplate, a lot to think about, and a lot to reflect on and share. This, in my opinion, you got one of the greatest dreams here in the entire community. Why not share that with the community?
That one comment, or that one by Gandhi that you said that I can't remember exactly it is about. Do you know what the biggest differentiator or the difference between the very high net worth millionaires and billionaires of the world are between everyone else is that they've evolved to a place where it's no longer about them. It's more about serving community and serving their fellow man and woman. And that's how their success evolves to the level they're at, because it's not about them anymore. It's about how can they make a difference in the world and change the world. How can they bring the most value to their community? And that's how they become billionaires. It's a whole nother level of spirituality and mental framework that you have to put yourself in. And it's not easy to do, because as humans, we are greedy. We are about us. There's a lot of unlearning we have to do to get to that state.
That's beautiful. Same thing happened to me this week. I mean, not this week, during Christmas, because of my job. I had to work all the way from Christmas to New Year's Eve every single day except the 25th when we didn't work. And I had a lot of time to reflect. And, while I was driving around on empty roads, I was like, okay, what this life is about? What happened so far? Where you are in life? What happened this year? And a couple of things what you just mentioned. One of them was this: try to think about other people. And it works really well. One of my mechanic friend is trying to help me to fix my wife's car, and I know how busy he's during the day. So I said to him, you know what? Let me get the courtesy car first, because he even offered me to drive his car while I'm dropping my wife's car to him, because I don't have a car at the moment. And I said, you know what? Keep your car and run the garage, because I know you make more money than during the day. So when I have the courtesy car, I have a car. I can drop off my wife's car, leave it there, and every afternoon, late afternoon, evening, when you have like a spare 1 hour, just work on it, and then do it when you can, really quiet time. Man, the guy was like, "Oh, thank you so much, man. You'd have no idea how helpful that idea was, and how much it helps me and makes makes my life so much better and easier." I said, "Yeah, I'm trying to, you helping me, I'm trying to help you as well." And another thing is, I started thinking recently that majority of us, what we do, we wake up in the morning. Obviously, lucky ones, retire, they can go on conferences and whatnot. But let's say majority of the people, humankind, We wake up in the morning, we do some, certain routines, take a shower, get ready for the day, maybe have some breakfast, go to work, come back, little family time, maybe a gym. If you have a bit of time, a movie, sleep, and that's it tomorrow. So what is all this about? Consuming. And I said to myself, if this is how I'm gonna be remembered, the guy who was just consuming every single day. This is my life is about, like nothing else. I can't give back to the community because when you have a job, it doesn't allow you to do things. But when you work, then you can, because you work towards a goal, you work on yourself. Like it's a big difference between working and having a job. That's what another realization last year I
100%.
made.
Oh yeah.
And
100%.
and I'm like, and it's really difficult to get out of this, because what is required to achieve this? All these guys are doing, who are on the conference, how many other things they have, how many commitments, family, businesses to run, but they still make the time and effort to do a live stream, to jump on something, to share some ideas, to help out Matthew or whatever. So that's the only way for any individual to get out of this average, gray, normal life, which only allow you to exist. If you push yourself a little bit harder, and even more harder and harder as the time goes, and then maybe wake up half an hour, 1 hour earlier in the morning, and then do something else, trade a little bit, or, learn another new skill or whatever. And the same thing applies in the evening. If you have a bit of energy left, then, do something else. Yeah, that's all I wanted to share regarding this section of the show.
Oh, it's killer stuff. I mean, on the old book club, we've covered a few books by Aaron Clarey. He's an economist, and some might call him a rather large pessimist, but there is an interesting point where he's like, well, the mathematics on retirement sucks. Aging is only going to get worse and make you hurt more, but the only refuge that you have in this life is your fellow man. So try to be an interesting person so that you can find other interesting people to hang out with, so you're not just bored out of your mind for 75 years. It's like, that's not a terrible argument, actually.
It is not. I really feel like, without getting too spiritual on here, because I'm a very big believer of God, and I am spiritual, but I believe we're on this earth for that purpose right there, to create value for our fellow man or fellow woman, to create community, to create, problem solving for each other, and create memories and experiences with each other too, with our loved ones, our family, our friends. Friends are only the family that you pick, which I love. I love that about friends. And the value we create with one another is our purpose, why we're here on earth. And that is truly how you evolve the human species.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and we're all here to make gains and have what's called enlightened prosperity. So you can be spiritual, enlightened, believe in God, have all this, higher purpose content going on inside of us, and we can also be wealthy as well. So, you don't have to be a starving artist. You don't have to be someone who is giving up something to go meditate in the cave. I like meditating, and I can do it for a long time. And I love being in the material world as well. So there's, you can be both spiritual and loaded at the same time. So
balance.
Go ahead, Norbert.
Yeah, balance. Just one word, like find the balance. Find the balance, and you can have everything, because we live. You can't live in a cave, because we're not in that era on the time scale. Like back in the before the medieval times, you could do it because there was not many options. So you live in a cave, fine, okay. But now we are in a completely different era, and how would you be able to help other people if you got nothing and you live in a cave? Like, okay, fine, you could go there and comfort them, like, oh yeah, I feel sorry for you, or yeah, I'm praying for your family. Yeah, it's a very nice gesture, but it's not gonna make a significant difference in someone else's life. So you need money, that's a tool. Unfortunately, we have to have money.
Money's a tool.
And honestly, Norbert, I'm not saying I disagree with your point of view, but there's millions of people living in caves right now. There's millions of people that don't complain about it, and all time is now. So, we just happen to be in areas where we don't have to live in a cave. You know, we get to enjoy the luxury of living in the countries that we live in. And, you know, look on YouTube, look, you'll see, go on, what do you call it? The History Channel, go on any major network. You can find plenty of, you know, the Maori people, like just all around the planet. There's people that live, you know, still spearfish, that love what they do. So, you know, that's you know, they have no interest in crypto whatsoever, you know, so.
Yeah, it's fine. You know, that's the other end of the scale, you know, like, but that's like a very niche group of people on earth, you know, like this is because they don't know better. This is what they surrounding is. They live in a, not a bubble, but, you know, this is what they used to, you know, like if they want to do that because it's their choice, you know, it's fine, you know, let them do it. And I admire those people, because if something like catastrophic would happen on earth, we were talking about this with my friend, and he's like, oh, we have to have land, you know, we have to prepare ourselves. I said, mate, if the shit hit the fan, I don't want to live on earth anymore, you know, because then people are going to be like, you know, crazy in groups, you know, like taking whatever they can. And, you know, how are you going to defend yourself against 10 guys approaching you with guns? Fair enough, you have a gun, but it's 10 against 1, you know, so what you going to do? But let's not go that far, you know, but it's not going to happen, hopefully. If it happens, it's not in our lifetime. But,
well, I mean, prosperity and abundance, man, it is, we create our own reality, right? We create our own fate. Our relationships with prosperity and abundance isn't determined by fate. We create fate, okay? So it's not luck or chance. I make my own luck in life. And when you manifest prosperity to a degree that you believe you're worthy of it, you will receive it. And so a lot of people call that law of attraction. I believe in, you know, all those laws and physics of the universe. And so what we believe in here, we create the emotions of, and then that gets manifested in real life by actions. Okay. And so this is how like abundance, escape velocity, all happens for all of us. And this is the mindset we do have to start preparing ourselves for, because it's 2025. This is what I gave my speech on at the Hex conference, is that most people are stuck in a place of lack. They're in a place of fear, and they work a 9 to 5. They live paycheck to paycheck. They don't understand how to create the vision for them and their family for abundance. Abundance was, I believe, God gave abundance for all of us to go and grab if we want it. And in fact, I believe it's a sin if we don't go and grab it, because then how are we supposed to help our fellow community, our fellow man, our fellow woman, our family, and live to our full potential if we're not doing that? And I feel like most people are wired in a way where they subconsciously self-sabotage themselves for abundance. And I feel like that shows very apparent to us on the blockchain when people are jeeting their bags and they're out there fudding, and then all they're doing is self-sabotaging themselves. And then they even after they jeet their bags, they stick around, which this part really boggles my brain. They stick around and they keep fudding and they stay in the toxicity. Like, it's okay to jeet your bags, but go move on and find something else that you're passionate about.
Exactly. Yeah. What's the point? What's the point of doing that?
Create that
so
abundance
pointless.
somewhere else. You don't have to create the abundance here. That's fine. If you don't resonate with us, if you don't like me or Frank or Zenith or Norbert, that's fine. You don't gotta like us. You can jeet your bags and go find someone else you like and resonate with them and start creating a life around that. But that's what I truly believe, man. And we have to really start doing a lot of inner work in 2025. A lot of people do in our community to prepare ourselves to be a millionaire, because you have to be a millionaire here and here first before you can become a millionaire here. I say that on my show all the time. You have to do the inner work first. And this is why you see all the time, like movie actors, rock stars, you see, baseball players, whatever it is. They get rich really quick and they lose all that money, or they kill themselves because they never were in the right place spiritually or mentally or physically for that money. They didn't know how to accept it, the wealth, and they didn't feel like they deserved the wealth. And the truth of the matter is, we all deserve wealth. We all deserve abundance. It's up to us to decide to accept it.
Fair.
Nice one. Very nice thoughts. I love it.
Not to do too much of a hard pivot here, but I did want to ask a question to our residential real estate expert here. So during the Hex conference, I mentioned the idea that theoretically you could create something that is similar to a 1031 exchange, but for crypto, where if you trade non-stable coins for other non-stable coins, it would seem like a pretty similar thing because you're keeping value in the same asset class. I wanted to ask you, what's the purpose behind a 1031 exchange? Like, what was the original intention behind creating it? And is that actually applicable to crypto, or am I just wish casting here?
It's not applicable to crypto, not at this very moment, unless you're doing it inside of a trust. If you're doing it inside of a trust, you can exchange value inside the crypto space and not pay taxes, actually the deferred, because that's all 1031 exchange is. All it does is say, okay, if I sell this house, I can go buy another like type property with the proceeds of this house and not pay taxes. The taxes are deferred on when I sell the next property, right? And you can keep doing that in a 1031 exchange. And it's only applicable to real estate. That's the only, the IRS is very favorable towards real estate. It's one of the oldest asset classes that have been around since the dawn of man, right? Since the kings and queens back in the day, like before, it was only the kings would own all the real estate. But once the peasants, were allowed to own real estate, they started integrating tax code into, to favor that asset class. And so the only way in crypto, because crypto's new and IRS hates it, bro. Like I'm telling you, they don't not like us. It's just
I hear you. This is definitely a hypothetical, like something we could propose. Because what I was talking with Nuclear Herbs yesterday was the idea that I think we're in a critical point now where the changing of the new administration come. Oh gosh, 11 days from now, I think. It's like Trump, if you could propose something to the new administration about what to propose, like this seems like maybe a reasonable argument, because you can even give that one-to-one analogy, be like, hey, we kind of do this thing over here. If you're serious about this new asset class, why not treat it more seriously?
Exactly. And Trump could absolutely enforce something like that and create a new code, right? Like the 1031 exchange. But I mean, even if there isn't, at least we have other options like a tax-deferred sales trust, which is what the DeFi Wealth Trust is. And literally you can sell crypto in that trust, go buy real estate or other crypto, go buy oil and gas, go buy a business if you want, sell that, go back into crypto. And you can do that as much as you want and not pay any taxes. It's just like a 1031. Now, you pay taxes when you pay yourself. So say you wake up one day, you're like, hey, I want to go buy that new Corvette. I'm going to pull out 150 grand. Well, that's called self-enriching. And then that 150 grand hits the bank account. You got to pay taxes on that. But as long as your money is working for you in the trust, you don't pay any taxes, which is beautiful. And you can keep doing that for as long as you want. Another great thing about a trust, besides the tax part, is let's say you're driving to the grocery store one morning and you hit somebody with your car and they want to sue you for everything you got. Well, what Zenith owns, they're allowed to, and you know this, you know the law pretty well, they can pretty much go after. But what's in a trust or LLC, it's very LLCs, you can kind of penetrate them, but a trust is very difficult to penetrate and go after those assets and get for them. Once a lawyer usually finds out that all their assets are in a trust, they usually kind of give up the case. It's usually what we see. That's not 100%, impenetrable, or you can go off those assets, but it's almost 100%. It's like 99%. And so that's another thing a trust does for you. As long as you're not the guy who wants to make all this money in this bull run and go spend it all on hooker and blows and Lamborghinis and yachts.
Need the Lambos.
Yeah. Then this trust idea, or if they did a 1031 like you're talking about, would work very well for that wealth preservation aspect of your life. Because man, my goal in life is not to go and ball out in 2025. I want to preserve my wealth for my daughters, right, and make sure that they're taken care of, make sure their kids are taken care of, their kids, and I want to make sure I have the money to last for my life. Because I'm living to 150, bro. I don't know if you know that, but I'm going to a fucking 150 the way I'm living my life, and I want to make sure of it.
I'm gonna push your wheelchair, man.
I need a lot of money, man. I need
be a driver.
money to last. I need that money to last if I'm going to live that long, man. And I want to live a good life and create memories and experiences with my loved ones. And that takes money. It takes help, and that takes money. And so I got to make sure I lock that in. So the trust is, if I knew about this trust, Zenith, before moving to Puerto Rico, I would not have moved to Puerto Rico. And so I moved to Puerto Rico because of the whole tax thing. And because also I wanted the experience of moving there, and it's been an experience. It's been fun. It's been fun. But when I leave
understand.
Puerto Rico, I'll be using this trust unless Donald Trump does some of the things that, he's kind of alluding to, with like he's saying, no taxes on American crypto. I don't know how you declare American crypto yet. I mean,
Well,
yeah,
you can
we'll see.
create, one other, as you said that, Corey, the Zenith, you can get your IRA. I mean, I've done a 30x with certain coins in my IRA that are they're stocks, but they also have crypto in them. Soul Strategies is one of them. And then you can also obviously in your IRA trade stuff and not pay taxes on it.
Now the problem with that, Frank, is that you have to wait till you're 57 and a half, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Trust,
62 maybe, but yeah.
We lost St. Wolf.
Wolf.
Come back, St. Wolf. I promised I was going to introduce you.
Yeah, come back.
I promised I was going to bring you up and introduce you. Come back.
It's beautiful. I was thinking about St. Wolf as well.
I promised I was going to introduce you, bro. Come back.
He can blame me. I got this soapbox topic going.
We did. We went down the rabbit hole a little bit. The great thing about the trust is that you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait. If you want to go buy the freaking Lambo, you can go do it. And now you got to pay taxes on that money you pull out, of course. But you only pay on the taxes on the money that you pull out. That is powerful, man. That is extremely powerful. If I can keep my money working for me and not worry about, paying the 3-letter agencies, man, like they didn't invest with me. They didn't take the risk with me. F them.
Yeah.
That's why I moved to Puerto Rico. I was like, you know what, you guys, I'm not giving you 30%. In real estate, we were able to offset that shit. Like Zena talking about, we have 1031 exchange, we have depreciation, we have cost seg, we have a lot of different tools to be able to write off taxes in real estate. In fact, I can live in Arizona and still not pay a lot of taxes. In crypto, I don't have that. Well, not yet, because we could see that with the new administration, but we don't have that yet, except for the trust. And so that's why I moved to Puerto Rico, man. I was like, F you guys, I'm out of here. You guys aren't getting 30-40% of my money. I'm going to go live on a tropical island.
Hey, put Heart St. Wolf in the chat to get him back.
Well, get back in here, man. We went on a soapbox, man. I promised I was going to bring you up, man. We want to hear you.
We're not blaming you.
Probably he just went to grab his sunglasses because it was so. I didn't even realize who it was because normally he wears sunglasses. And on the other day, I was listening. I love listening to him. He's amazing. And I commented on one of his videos to say, "Hey man, jump on the open mic on Corey's show. I'm sure you would like it." And then I'm like, I tried to text him on Twitter, but I don't have this premium version, so I cannot text people directly. And I was about to do the show, but I couldn't. I was like, oh man. And then he came on. I was like, yeah.
Dude, I got to stream with Sami for the first time on his show. Like he had an open mic kind of style show, and then Sami came on, and I'm like laying in bed.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
This is like in Puerto Rico. They're in bed. It's like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Sami's on somebody's live stream, and then like Fast Abdul texts me. He's like, hey bro, you should come on here. Sami's on. I'm like, oh. So I got up out of bed and went downstairs and fired up. I'm like, I think the bucket list, right? Like I had to get on stream.
Saint Wolf and Zenith has this magical voice which you could listen to the rest of your life, voice, and then if they would say something, it would be just like everything is okay. I don't have to worry about anything.
Well, that's why you had to check out the Hess conference last night with him and Nuclear Herbs, man. It was like,
yeah, I started watching it during lunch. Yeah,
it's like the opposite of me, man. I'm all and then he's like, "It's good, bro. We are in a good spot."
But it's also reassuring, calming and reassuring and quality. Yeah. You're lucky with those voices.
I'm gonna go grab another coffee. Not that I need it, but I'm gonna get one.
Yeah, go for it.
Coolest guys in Pulse Chain. I mean, just a neat dude. Great content, great intention. Spiritual dude, in my opinion. But yeah. Hey, you know what else? Actually, when Corey gets back, one other thing. Richard Hart tweeting about features and benefits of copy and reaching people and doing postcards and stuff like that. I've spent, and I know Corey spent a lot of time doing short copy and long copy, for different products, and you would know this, Corey, that long copy probably is more effective than short copy because people can see.
Depends on what platform, what your message is. Like a Facebook, man. I find short copy, little short ads, little snippets. People's attention spans, I swear, are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. It's like You have to catch their attention with a hook and then deliver the message quick and then make them feel good and then drive them to a place where you can have the long copy or bigger message.
Yeah. Well, to Richard's point, here's just an idea that I had that maybe people in the community could use is take, like he's got a long tweet there. You could take and go into ChatGPT, put in that his features and benefits, right? Say, hey, write me some long copy about Pulse Chain, write me some short copy, write me some tweets that I can tweet that would be effective, write me a postcard. And then if you feel like you want to, take it one step further, do a mailing, so like ChatGPT can do 80% of the work for you. And if you know what you're doing and just do, I think that his marketing savvy, and I'm sure that on every stream he uses his techniques. He knows marketing techniques to get people into the ecosystem. So just a thought, maybe that might be a nice, easy way for people to partake in something to give back, to be effective in the community at onboarding people.
No, his tweet was really good. Richard tweet last time, but as Corey is saying, attention spams are getting shorter and shorter. And even I was really interested, but reading that very long tweet of his through, after half of it, I was like, it's still coming. But the beauty is that whatever he was writing there, every single sentence was gold, like call to action, find your target audience, what's the message, like all sorts of things. Everything was really, really good, but it was extremely long. So, yeah, but was a lot of good things in that one. Sure.
I understand the argument that attention spans are getting shorter, but at the same time, I think we also are contending with it seems like an almost contradictory idea, which is that a lot of the content that we watch now is long form. I mean, shoot, we've been streaming here for almost an hour, and I'm sure there's people that have been watching the entire time. So,
but these guys are already bought into the vision.
That's true. Although when it comes to, I think it might be more of a conversion rate thing, which is that it's the idea that the dopamine receptors are just so bombarded that you need a higher stimulus in order for it to hit hard. So, but once you can make that conversion, then you actually get people to the long form stuff and they really stick around for it. So for me, it's like the idea is if you could make that hook or make that whatever the payoff is, the value proposition, shall we say, if you can get that high enough and you can get it to hit, especially if you can target a specific audience or the core people that you're trying to target, I think that's how you do it. I no doubt I'm not nearly as experienced as you guys in copywriting, but I've taken a few lessons on it and tried my hand at it itself. And I always just start with who's the person I'm trying to reach here? What's the pain point that they have in their life, and how can we really try to hone in on that? You create the hook around.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly it. I mean, look at Brizology. He's so bored right now watching us. He's still doom scrolling on X because he needed the dopamine hit.
But it's really tricky, to approach these kind of people, because if you think about it, ideally we would like to get people onboarded who are financially well, who doesn't have too much worries, who don't like complications after a while. People. Yeah, I understand that, but how to put this through for you guys to understand. Most of the people are going to ask you the question, what is in it for me? Why should I do this? So obviously we have to explain the good side of it, but they're going to argue, it's really difficult to fight it, because they're going to come back to you, okay, if your product is so good, why you need me? Or why the green candles are not happening? Or what about these community members? Guys, please, for the love of God, anyone who doesn't like any of the influencers or doesn't like any of the crypto on the Pulse Chain, on Richard ecosystem, please just sell and leave, because you're not doing anything. If you want to do something else, go somewhere else, buy something else, hang out with someone else, watch someone else, but don't spend your time, God knows how much time you have left in life, writing negative things about trying to bring people down. What's the point of doing that? Do something, get a life, man, do something else. So if these people are trying to onboard, they're gonna see these people arguing with each other. Another side of the group, I would like to ask, guys, don't even argue with those people. Because then if you do, then you go down on day level, and you don't want to be on that level, man. You want to be on the higher resonancy, you want to be on the higher vibration. So you don't need to argue. If this is what you think, mate, fine, fair enough. Block, mute, whatever you want to do, but don't argue with them. So then it's going to be less and less of these negative things. But that's what I would like to know your opinion, guys, because my friends, they are long time hex takers. And some of them were really, really wealthy at some point, but they didn't sell, obviously. So they watched the majority of it to disappear in the thin air. But they're trying to reach out. So what would be the message? How we can say this thing? Because my argument is that why do you need me? What is in it for me? And these two questions. How would you approach? How would you tackle these two quite sensitive questions if they come back to you? And
the answer I got for this one is it's actually, in my opinion, Maslow's hierarchy, which is that it seems like you're answering a bunch of different questions, but it's actually one and the same, which is that you just have to understand where the audience is at and what they care about in their life. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs is the triangle that says at the bottom you have physical needs, you have safety and security, love and belonging, self-esteem, and then like self-actualization all the way at the top. And yes, it does get smaller as you go up to the top, but understand that, especially for crypto, I think that the way you're talking about, like, why do I need these people? Why do I want this? That's a very widespread idea, especially when you're just trying to mass appeal on social media. But then at the same time, once you actually get into the tighter circles like we have here, like I know Corey is a highly successful man, so he's less about just like trying to get for his own. And like he's talking about, he's trying to provide long-term opportunity for his family. It's like that is a different order of thinking than just the average Twitter user who's just out here trying to survive, get the next paycheck, get the next meal, make sure that rent's paid on time. But once you have those things covered, then you can start being more ideological, shall we say, or you can actually really start caring about like DeFi principles and understanding that having the ability to operate like with privacy on the blockchain matters. It's like, try explaining that to someone who's just like starving or in a war-torn country.
They don't care.
Like, yeah, they don't care. They're like, dude, I'm out here trying to fight Russians. Like, what are you talking about here?
They don't give a shit. That's the ideology of escape velocity. Once you have escape velocity, your worldview opens up. It changes everything about not living in fear and lack. I've heard Frank talk about living in lack multiple times. You know, living in a place where you're just, you're not going to be in acceptance for any of the abundance that is available to you when you're living in a
scarcity or survival.
So scarcity, so survival mode. That's it. Survival mode. Thank you very much.
Versus
survival
thriving
mode will never open you up for the abundance and greater things in life, and for you to be able to like create, like, for example, generational wealth for your family or help your community, with their problems and their issues, whatever it may be. I mean, do you think Elon Musk really cares about how much more money he has? He don't give a shit, man. He wants to freaking go to Mars, and he wants to change the world. Like, he's about like, how can I change the planet to a place where when I die, I made my mark so significant on this planet, and I've evolved humanity so many different layers up. Like, that's his like vision. That he doesn't give a shit about himself anymore. I mean, he does, but not in like that sense. It's so beyond that, like even beyond where I can comprehend. Because there's levels to it. There's definitely levels to it, and I'm trying to learn how to like obviously go up that ladder where he's at. Like, so it's
he's on the spectrum too, so he can see things that we can't see
because he's up on that ladder. Because he's up there. He's made it up there. He's got that perspective. It's different. It's a different type of spirituality too. It's so.
But maybe I asked the wrong question. But please try to help me out, guys, because we really wanna target him and his wife. Idea is that they're gonna create. I directed them to the nice Telegram groups like X postcards and stuff like that. So I said, okay, this is what we should focus on, and then they already have ideas. Certain areas in the United Kingdom which are well sorted. To give out postcards and approach those. So my question is, how would you? There's no question about that. When you are rich, you see things in a completely different angle in life, and from a different perspective. And they don't have to worry about things. But these kind of questions still comes to their mind. So how would you convince someone that is a good idea that they should join forces with us and they should invest in our ecosystem? Because right now the green candles are not there. So fine, we have the nice community, dude, are they gonna really care about a guy in the outskirts of the United Kingdom living on the countryside that someone in California is a cool guy? I don't think so, to be honest with you. So
And
what other argument we can bring up that they
I'm gonna
should
give
do
my
it?
2 cents on it, on what we do, and this is more of like almost an onboarding type question where these guys maybe are onboarded, but they need a little bit more reassurance for moving forward with this asset class, right? And so you got to learn to speak their language. And once again, Zena kind of touched on this earlier, and figuring out what problems are they having, because what people really care about when it comes down to the end of the movie, unfortunately, this is most of humanity because they haven't broken out of this mindset yet, is they care about themselves, right? What's in it for them? What's in it for me? And you need to be able to solve that problem with them. How is hex staking or any of these assets going to solve their immediate problems or maybe short-term problems in their life? And you have, for me, when I go to real estate events, and I'm speaking to entrepreneurs and real estate guys, it's easy for me to talk to these guys because they understand passive income. They get the vision and dream of passive income, and they were sold a dream in real estate that they could buy a bunch of rental properties, sit on the beach and drink Mai Tais and get checks in the mail. And they thought that was that's what the gurus said it would be.
So
and it's not. And it's completely not. Now, there's money to be made in real estate. Yes, there's definitely money, but it's not that dream. And so you could talk about how cryptocurrency really is a hands-off passive income. You get more gains than you possibly could ever imagine than real estate. You can show, history. We have the data points to point to. And so I'm able to kind of poke at their problem, their immediate problem, and solve it, and even show them short-term, how I can solve the problem. And that's how I onboard them. So they come in, they get more interested. And then I can kind of go down the rabbit hole once they're in and they're making some passive income. I can start talking about DeFi and the ethos of crypto and being your own bank and having self-sovereignty and all the things that we know and love. And, that's kind of like Satoshi's initial vision, right? But no one gives a shit about that, right? Nobody in the beginning is going to give a shit about that, like Zena said. And so you have to figure out.
Reading the white paper.
Yeah, no one's reading the white paper. And I don't know what their language is or what their problem is or how to take this and solve their problem with it. But that's how I do it in the real estate world. So it's going to be different for every different communities, right?
Hey, I as you were saying that, I used my friend GBT. I asked the question, what's the biggest problem people face that are not in crypto and are considering getting into crypto? Number one, lack of knowledge and education. Number two, fear of scams and loss. Three, complexity of the ecosystem. 4, misinformation and misconceptions. 5, lack of clear guidance. 6, regulatory uncertainty. 7, fear of volatility. 8, difficulty of understanding practical applications. 9, time and effort required. So, I mean, you could say one is people are in debt and they want to figure out how to get out of debt, right? Okay, well, invest in this, and, this, or, those are the kind of questions. But I just figured I'd throw that out there because it was kind of a broad question you're asking. And I would encourage everybody in the community that's YouTubers to reach out to their people that are listening to their streams and do a survey and see what's the biggest problem you were facing before you got into crypto, or something like that. Do a little research on how to do that, and then ask your community. But I did a survey on what's the biggest problem you're facing as a single person on trying to find your soulmate, and it's been years ago since I did this, but all you need is 100 answers. You can do, and is it this and this, and then it gives you a very clear picture of who you're speaking to. They've been through terrible relationships. They have people that have cheated on them. They've just can't seem to get a long-term commitment, etc. So what's the biggest problem people are facing, and then you create solutions for it yourself. Anyway, I would do a survey. As I'm thinking about this, I would do a survey because I think it'd be very effective, and especially with copy, writing short and long copy and tweets and stuff, you're talking to their pain points, and then you have a solution for it.
It's perfect. And you're not going to save everyone, Norbert. That's also the other point. If they have all these stakes and they're experiencing a lot of financial pain in the now, it's going to be very difficult for you to convince them to like not.
No. That's why I said we're not approaching, we're not targeting those individuals. You know, we're gonna go to wealthy areas and try to onboard as many rich people as possible. But you know, I'm always, you know, that's what I learned in life. If someone is approaching you in life, they always want something from you. They're not approaching you because, you know,
what can you give?
99% of the time that they want something from you. So after that you can decide if it's a genuine person, nice person, yeah, maybe we can build something here, or it just wants my wallet or whatever, you know, but they always someone wants something from you.
I'll take a swing at this.
It's not much in it right now, but
yeah. To give you the technical answer, I'll try that one. So first off and foremost, we'll start off with the classic, try to sell me this pen. Cool. Are you in the market for a pen? If the answer is no, move on. So obviously we're looking at someone that's interested in investing and theoretically long-term investing, but also is looking for higher returns and has an appetite for risk, shall we say, especially if you're looking in the crypto sector. Okay, so that gets you into crypto. How do I get you into Hex from here? Okay, so if you're a longer-term investor, you like the gains that crypto does, but at the same time, like Frank was talking about, if you don't have the knowledge and you don't want to be a trader, I think Hex is a very appealing tool to do so. The reason I say that is because the staking feature allows you to lock it up. It doesn't require that you get good at swing trades or anything. It really just requires that you are able to stomach your risk appetite, which you claim to have, and be able to sit through it and then reap the rewards of delayed gratification at the end. On top of that, the other technical reason why Hex is the way to do this, as opposed to just like trying to get a nice bag and single side stake Ethereum or something, is the TVL, which is that total value locked on a chain is important, and it also creates confidence in the asset class that it's going to stick there and last the test of time. Because Hex staking is not just for you, it's also for everyone around you that's also interacting with the product. The way that the staking function works is that you have to get at least halfway through your stake before you can early unstake and get anything out of it. Because if you try to early unstake before halfway, all of it's gone. So what that does is obviously everyone's like, yeah, no, we're not here to lose money. We're going to hold the stake. So that creates minimum time lengths that money is guaranteed to be locked up on this chain. And this is why I think it's a very important thing. Like when Bill from Actuator Protocol talks about trying to build a healthy bond market with Hex, it's that reason as well, which is you're trying to build investor confidence. And it's not just like, I have to trust you guys because I think you're like swell dudes or something. It's like, no, there is a physical smart contract. It is immutable. It is trustless, and it is going to act. It is a system that is built for rational actors to act rationally in their own self-interest, and it's a way that everyone can build off of it. So because you have that total value locked on the chain, you know the money in this thing is not going anywhere, and this solves one of the fundamental problems with crypto is the rugs, which is that theoretically, if your liquidity pool, if the just all the tokens get sold off and it goes to zero and it drops to absolutely nothing, that's not going to happen with this because of the way that the energy in the chain is locked up through the staking feature. That's how you get there. So we started off with, are you in the market for crypto? Yes. Okay, cool. Are you able to handle volatility? Okay, cool. Are you here for the long term? Yes. Okay, cool. If the answer to all three of those questions is yes, then Hex is a very likely candidate for that. On top of that, now it's just actually doing the rest of the salesmanship. I mean, like, hey, here's how you do it. It's simple. We'll walk you through it. If you have questions, please ask. There's good people around here that are trying to help.
You gave me a lot of good ideas and excellent points, both of you guys. But okay, another things I started realizing, and unfortunately I'm facing as an issue these days, everyone is lacking time. So majority of these people are gonna say, I don't have time for this.
Are they lacking time or are they lacking willingness?
Commitment.
Yeah, I know. Okay, yeah, it depends on how you look at it. Yeah, true. But let's say if they don't have time, you know, like they say, oh, I don't have time for this. You know, I'm very busy.
Then Hex is the product for them.
Exactly. Stake it.
That is the product.
Come back in 15.5 years.
Yeah, really. Like that's the staking feature, and the way Hex was designed was for you can set
one more question before we move to the next topic.
Yeah,
why should I invest? Why should I invest? Because I don't want to be that guy who bought Hex at 55 cents and now it's less than 2 cents. So my money is gone. So why should I invest? Maybe it's gonna go lower from here. You know, like, you know what I mean? It's like, what about those guys? You know, like who invested before?
Well, and look, it's not the only time you're going to make a cryptocurrency investment. You have to wait for the investment to pan out. If you were thinking long term, you got to wait for it to pan out. We know the cycles now. We know that we can stake however I have a staking ladder, but had I known at the time,
Yeah, me too.
would I have changed it to what Corey talks about on, the cycles, and I think also look at behind every complaint is a commitment. So for them, like, what's their commitment? You have to get really clear on what your commitment is. Once you're clear on what your commitment is, then you can move forward. So, Hex, Pulse Chain, there's plenty of other coins on Pulse Chain you could get into, or there's other ecosystems you can get into too. It just depends on what their commitment is to themselves. And again, it's not the last coin you're going to buy. There's plenty of other coins out there that are going to come out that you can buy that are potential investment opportunities. And it ain't over when it's not over with just one. It's not over with Hex, right? It could be, but it's not over with just investing in one coin.
Yep, you have a lot of options.
To answer the question of, like, how do you not be the guy that buys 55-cent Hex and then watches it go down to 2? The answer is you stay involved and you don't be the person that just has a single bullet to fire and hope that that's your shot to the moon. That's just unrealistic. So if you're trying to do that, well, none of us here can give you financial advice, obviously, but like that seems unwise, shall we say? So,
I can give financial advice.
And I will always point to Norbert, and we talk about the show all the time, man. I am a very strong believer of market cycles, and the education about market cycles would help instill some confidence that they're not buying the top right now, that they're not coming in and they're going to get wrecked.
Yeah, it's a good time for
3 years, right? Like, just based off the cycle where we're at in the asset class, which should, because data points is everything. For me, the smart investor always uses data points to do his investments, and the market cycles is what we have as far as data. It's the strongest data we have, and so you can always use that information and point to the charts and point to the data, point to the global liquidity index, point to all these different metrics and see this is not the top. It's closer to the bottom. I don't know if it is the bottom because there's no way we can say, okay, we're not going to go any lower. I think we're in a local bottom, but I'm just a dude on the internet who just speculates on his own money. So you could say, look, I think we are definitely closer to the bottom than we are to the top based off of cycle theory. Here's where I think we could also end up going, and you can make some, very conservative and realistic expectations there with them. If it's your friend, right? You never want to be. I don't do price calls on a YouTube show, but if you're sitting there with your buddy and you're showing him, because here's one data point for Hex to become a blue chip and to be recognized as a blue chip, it needs to make a new all-time high this cycle. It's just a data point. Right?
And that was my next question. What makes you believe that we're gonna go back to all-time high and beyond and above?
Beyond, right? And so, how far beyond? I don't know.
But what makes you believe that? Why should I invest in this thing? It's gonna be able to go back to 55 cents and above.
Mainly you guys.
Well, I was actually going to point at this guy in particular, which is that there is a injection of capital into this ecosystem. There is proof that there is economic energy pouring into the system. There's going to be other factors that happen with it. I mean, Corey actually beat me to it. I was going to say global liquidity cycles as well, but he beat me to the punch. But we also got Hart's Law, the network effect. We got all these different things that will take they'll take time to happen, but they will come. It's been proven time and time again, and I mean, I'm not worried. So
I'm not either.
Yeah, me neither.
But we're also we're.
But I'm sure those guys gonna ask these questions,
Yeah.
Great questions, Norbert. Really great questions. I mean,
good stuff.
Digging and digging.
Thank you. That's why I love hanging out with you guys, because for me, every Friday is like a brainstorming, a giga chat conversation. Not one of those, what shall we eat tonight? What movie to watch. It's not it's very intellectual and high vibration conversation. So I admire you a lot and I appreciate you. And then if you are joined us, it's a shame that Wolf is not here. I wanted him to be here today so much.
That's all right. We'll get him on it. It's early for him.
Next time. Please, some of you, if you have his Twitter thingy, just text him.
Where is he? Where does he live?
I don't know where he lives.
St. Wolf in Czech Republic.
It's night shows for me. When he streams, it's at night. So
I usually see him late night as well.
Yeah.
No,
But-
he's 1 hour ahead of us. So he's for me it's 5:26 in London. So for him it's 6:26. So it's good for him.
And there is some of this going on. I would argue, there's a lot more than that. There's 317,000 Ethereum that are just sitting on the sidelines that like to buy our stuff from 2 different wallets. I have no expectation of those wallets, but that money is there and it's just sitting there. And if you're bullish
might do something.
Yeah, it may or may not. I don't know. And if you're bullish on ETH, well, I mean, I don't know. You can make your own determination from that. So it's
I do want to give you Corey, you didn't want to give the top hunting and the bottom hunting tip, but there was a little tidbit that I discovered recently. Folks, check out the MVRV Z score. If that sounds like a QR code, well, it kind of is. That stands for Market Value Realized Value Z score. It's a top and dip indicator, and I've been doing some research into this one, and I think it looks like it's a pretty reliable indicator for finding tops and bottoms.
What's it called again?
Z score?
Yep, I'll throw it in the chat.
Yeah, throw in the chat. I want to research it. Never heard
this
of it.
This is a Bitcoin top and bottom indicator, but I use it for pretty much the entirety of the market.
And you can put it on any coin?
No, it's for Bitcoin.
It's only for Bitcoin then.
Well, it's primarily focused on Bitcoin. It relies a little bit of on-chain data and analysis of like the average price that people bought in and the price of Bitcoin right now.
Okay.
So it's trying to compare, okay, are people in profit or are people at a loss? And the Z score is a normalized value for that. And it pretty much looks like anywhere between like 0, although it actually goes slightly negative sometimes. And when it goes slightly negative, that's kind of a bottom indicator. And then if it goes anywhere above 6 usually, or approaches 6, that's a pretty good indicator that you're approaching a cycle top.
Interesting. I love it, man. And the more data points we have, the better. Makes us smarter investors. Yeah. Love that.
For sure.
This is right here, Zenith. What you just said is why you get into crypto and why you get into this community, into Hex and Pulse Chain and that. Just because, look, I've been in other ecosystems before. I can't find information like this. It's very difficult. You have to go through a Telegram. You don't know whether you're going to, here it's all centralized. We're in a decentralized network, but it's all centralized. All the people with the information are centralized, and you're giving out free information. All of us are giving out information to help people, and it makes a huge that makes a huge difference for people. So that's one reason why you get in, because you can get data, you can get information from good people at the source.
Yep, 100%.
Much appreciated. I'm just trying to look at the charts and figure it out myself. Like you said,
that's it, man. Because you're being a smart investor and you're using the data.
It's very easy to drown yourself in data if you so desire. That sorting through it and finding stuff that works and looks important and is understandable for you. That's really the key, in my opinion, that I've just been driving at for the last 3 years.
Yeah, and it's better to be drowning in data and using that information than just throwing money around like spaghetti on the wall and hoping something sticks. So
yeah.
Well, it's funny you say that, Corey, because I'm actually I am data resistant. I just need the bottom line. So it's like my wife. We did this assessment called Kolbe, KOLBE.com. Got to check it out. It's a really great assessment tool to know what your instincts are. And she said to me, she says, wow. She goes, I'm a fact finder. You're a quick start. So she said, when I start telling you all this data, you got to stop me and tell me to bottom line it. It has revolutionized our relationship because she knows to bottom line things for me. And I also know I can stand up and say, hey, can you just bottom line it for me? So anyway.
I love it. Well, guys, I'm going to be winding it down. I'm going to go have some lunch. It's actually kind of brunch right now for me here in AZ. And thanks so much, all you guys coming on. Zenith, go ahead and shield, though, DJ Roundtable. I want to let everybody know where to find you and all the good information that you bring to the community. So go ahead and shield that right now.
Much appreciated. Yeah, folks, you can find me over on the DJ Roundtable YouTube channel or inside of our private Telegram group. We like to do private calls in there. They are recorded, by the way.
I need to join that. I don't know if I'm in that.
Yeah, go ahead. If you go check out any of our streams, there should be a QR code. Go find a newer stream because the QR code did get updated. All you gotta do is scan that, get in there, or just Will has the URL for the bit.ly thing memorized, so he usually says it at the end of the stream, so you can get that as well.
Okay,
but yeah,
cool.
folks, we stream 8 p.m. Eastern time, Sunday, Wednesday, Friday. And tonight we're actually covering book club, which I need to do a little bit more of the reading. Leave it to Will to recommend a 24-hour audiobook. It is The Creature from
Dr. Jekyll, Jekyll Island.
No, it's about the Federal Reserve, but it's a play on that. Oh, sorry, yeah, The Creature from Jekyll Island. You nailed it.
Yeah, it's a good book, man. You're gonna enjoy it.
I hope so. I found myself really enjoying some of the more I guess in-depth and technical books, specifically trying to like make sense of history, especially the ones that do like kind of cycle theory stuff. So in the past, we covered The Great Wave by David Hackett Fisher. That's currently one of my favorite books. If you want something lighter, something we covered recently was Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill.
One of my favorite books.
That was phenomenal. That was 10 out of 10. And if you can go get the audiobook on Audible, that's also a very enjoyable read because the voice actors they had for that, the devil guy, phenomenal. Like Oscar worthy.
It's fire, dude. It's like watching a movie when you're listening to it's so good.
Was not expecting that, and it just it
drives everything home even that much harder. So well, cool, guys. And thanks guys for all being here. I appreciate every single one of you. You guys make the community. We love every single one of you. Everyone's screaming in the background of my house. Remember, if you want to 10x your portfolio, just bring 10 times the value to your fellow community, fellow man, your fellow woman. Bring that money in and put it in crypto, and you can 100x your life. That's the key here. It's what we're doing. And I will see you guys next week. I'll be back on the island. It'll be good. So,
peace, guys. Love you guys. Talk to you later.
See you guys.
All the best.
Cheers, boys.
Thank you.
Bye.